Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. How is everyone? Hope that you all are doing well, preparing for the exams. Okay, today we are solving one more paper one, computer science, that is of computer science, paper one, computer systems. This is 0478 paper 13, October, November 2024. The duration of the paper is 1 hour 45 minutes. You have to answer on the question paper. No additional materials are needed. You have to answer all the questions. You have to use a black or dark blue pen, and you are allowed to use an IG pencil for drawing the diagrams. Right, you have to write your name, center number, and candidate number in the given boxes at the top of the page. You have to write your answer to each question in the given space. Do not reuse an erasable pen or correction fluid. Do not write on any barcodes. Calculators must not be used in the paper. Total marks for the paper is 75. The number of marks for each question or part question is shown in the brackets. No mark will be awarded for using the brand names, so please do not use the brand names at all in your answers. Now, question number 1. Data can be measured using different units of storage. Tick one box to show which of the following is the largest unit of data storage. Pebibyte, Mebibyte, or Gibibyte. Which one is the correct option? Okay, it's Pebibyte, correct. Now, question number 1B part. A computer has primary storage. Give one example of primary storage. Explain the purpose of your chosen example. Now, primary storage, it can be ROM or RAM or cache. So let's see, what can a student write in order to score the marks? Now you can see RAM, it's temporary. Why do we use it? To store the data or instruction that are currently in use, to store software programs that are currently in use, to, again, I said to store the data temporarily, to allow data to be accessed directly by the CPU or the processor, or you could have written to allow data to be stored closer to the CPU or the processor so that it can be accessed faster. So see, RAM, the main points as you have studied, they are mentioned here. And if you have mentioned the name properly, you have mentioned the proper definition, the proper explanation, then you will be scoring 3 out of 3. 1 mark for identification and 2 marks are for writing down the proper reasons or for writing proper explanation. ROM, as you know, it stores the data permanently. It is going to store the BIOS, basic input-output system. It is storing the bootstrap or the bootloader. It is there to store the booting instructions or the startup instructions. It is a non-volatile storage, as we talk about. It's permanently storing the data. It stores the data. It stores firmware, and to store data or instructions which cannot be changed. Like by default, they're never changed. They're always present permanently. So out of these points that are mentioned right now from the marking scheme, a student can write any of the 2 points and he will be scoring 2 out of 2. As far as cache is concerned, you know very well that it is storing the data that is needed frequently by the computer system, and it is storing all those instructions. And again, it is volatile. It's not storing the data permanently. It's a volatile storage, as it is storing the data temporarily. So if a child has written any of these 3 options and he has written the right explanation, so he will be scoring 3 out of 3. Part C. All data is converted to binary to be processed by a computer. Calculate the binary number for the denary number 175. Show all your working. So as you know, this is what is the byte value. We start from the LSB right-hand side, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. In order to make 175, it's 128 that is turned on, 32 that is turned on, 8, 4, 2, and 1. So if you add 128 plus 32 plus 15, which is 8, 4, 2, 1, so you will get 175. Okay, part 2 of question number 1C. Give the binary number for the given hexadecimal numbers. First one is 15, not 15, please. Yes, that's great. 2D and 091. what is going to be the values, equivalent mixed values. As you can see, it's done here. 1248, 1248, 1248. Taken three values because the maximum is containing three nibbles. So that is why three nibbles values are taken. First of all, we are saying 15. It's not 15 that is F. It's the hexadecimal value 1 and 5. And we have found the binary for 1 turning on this bit only of the nibble, and 5, which is 4 and 1, turned on, and the rest of the bits are off. In this manner, the answer for 15 will be 0001, 0101. The answer for 2D, you can see for this 2 is on and the rest of the bits are off, and D is going to be 13. That's why you can see 8 plus 4 plus 1 is 13. That's why the answer for 2D will be 0010 and 1101. Okay. Then last is 091. First of all, the binary for 0, all the 4 bits are turned off. Then it is 9, which is 8 and 1 turned on, and the rest of the bits are off. And then lastly, it is 1, that is only the first bit is turned on, and the rest of the bits of the nibble are turned off. In this manner, your answer for 091 will be 0000, 1001, 0001, and that will give you 3 marks. So the only trick here that might confuse with some students is 15, it's 15 and not the value F that is representing 15. Be clear about it. Now part D. Binary integers can be added together. Add the two binary integers using binary addition. Show all your working. Give your answer in binary. This was the first binary value, 111 was 00011, and the second binary value is 11001100. So here we are starting from the right hand side, and you can see here you can see here 1 plus 0 is a 1, 1 plus 0 is a 1, 0 plus 1 is a 1, 0 plus 1 is a 1, 0 plus 0 is a 0, 1 plus 0 is a 1, 1 plus 1 is 0 with a carry of 1, and 111 will be 1 with extra 1 carried on the like definitely to the next byte, and this is resulting in a situation that we know is overflow. Although they haven't asked us here, but we know that this results in overflow situation. Okay, now moving to the next part E. Calculate the denary number for the 2's complement binary integer. Show all your working. Now you are given the binary integer value. This is 1000 1110. And you can see this is binary integer, means 2's complement binary integer means what you will do immediately is you will be considering this to be your minus 128. So what we had done earlier, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, the only change because of this 2's complement thing is this will become minus 128. We simply wrote the values for each, like 1000, 1110. And what we did then is we wrote minus 128 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2. And what we get as the final answer is minus 114. Different colors, they can understand that this is denoting your most significant or the sign bit basically. So this most significant bit is the sign bit indicating 1 for the negative number. So you can see the answer is minus 114, indicating that the value is a negative value. Now, in this manner, you will score 2 out of 2. I hope there is no confusion till now. If there is any, then the videos are available. The quick recap videos are also available. So please go through them. And if you have any query, then you can again have it resolved in the class. Okay? Question number 2. An employee has a report that they need to email to the employer. the employee compresses the report file before emailing it. State the effect the compression has on the report file. So definitely it is going to be the file size will be reduced. That is definitely the answer that should come in everyone's mind. Give 2 benefits of compressing the report file before emailing it. Now, what comes to our mind actually when we talk about compression? The file size is reduced, the download time will be shorter, it will be easier to upload the file, bandwidth will be consumed less. These are the normal answers which we normally talk about in the class and when we are solving the other papers also. So here you can see, and it will be under the file size limit for the email. Now, this is something that you can, maybe some child has written this answer. And if you know the email, when you are emailing something to someone else, then there's a limit that you can, that if a file is going beyond the limit, then the email is not sent. So maybe with that compression, what is the benefit? The file will be under the file size limit for the email, basically. So a child might have written this answer. We've talked about uploading and downloading is faster. That's the same answer written here. It will take less storage space on the computer. It will use less data allowance in case of mobile data is being used. Now, one thing a student could have written that if I'm using mobile data, so if the file size is reduced, it is compressed. So definitely it will be consuming lesser mobile data on my end, requires lesser bandwidth. That is what we have already discussed. So 2 benefits, if a student has written any of these 2, that he will definitely be scoring 2 out of 2. A few that we have discussed right now that were normally never a part of our answers, but I hope that some child might have written these in his answer. Employee decides to use lossless compression to compress the file. Explain why lossy compression is not suitable. As we talked about, it's a report, and lossy means there's loss of data. So definitely, if you talk about lossy compression, it will be permanently deleting the file. And in this case, I will definitely be needing the whole file. I don't want any part of the file to be lost or to be deleted. That's why in this case, lossy is not at all suitable. So that is what is written as the first point. The report will have text in it, and lossy is not suitable for text files. As we know, we have been discussing repeatedly that lossless is feasible for word processor files, for spreadsheet files, for database files, for your program files, for your text files, because here the loss of data is disastrous. We cannot compromise on the data loss. That's why we prefer to perform lossless compression, because lossy will corrupt the data, will damage the data. And the report may have images, and we want the quality of the images to be retained. We don't want the quality of the images to be lost. In that case, also, lossy compression is not suitable, and lossless is the viable option for us. So this is something that we have been discussing in the class. Same thing is written here. I hope that you have understood. Part D. When the employee enters the email address, the computer uses Unicode to convert the email address to binary. State what Unicode is an example of. So simple, it's character set. By the way, the other character set that we know is ASCII exactly. Now, that is coming next, part 2. Give 2 advantages of the computer using Unicode instead of American Standard Code for Information Interchange or ASCII. You know very well. What is the advantage? Unicode is able to support more characters. Unicode is able to support symbols, while ASCII is not able to support those characters exactly. So let's see other languages, like the languages, Chinese, Japanese, etc. So all these language data is supported by Unicode, while ASCII is not able to support. It can only support the limited English characters, English alphabet. So that is what it can represent: more characters. It can represent emojis or symbols. It can represent more languages. The way we have talked about, if you have written any of these, that you will definitely be able to score 2 out of 2, the same as we have discussed. Give 1 disadvantage of the computer using Unicode instead of ASCII. So definitely we know that Unicode is occupying more its storage space is higher. It requires more storage space for storing the same character, and that is why it is a disadvantage. For example, if you recall, by the way, ASCII is using 7 bits, extended ASCII is using 8 bits for a character, while Unicode is using 4 bytes for representing the same character. So definitely, as compared to 1 byte, 4 bytes are you can definitely storing more, and that is a disadvantage. Now, the report is broken down into packets to be emailed. Circle 3 items of data that can be found in the packet header. Now, these are your options. The report is broken down into packets to be emailed. Circle 3 items of data that can be found in the packet header. Trailer, originator's address, payload, interrupt, input, operating system, destination address, antivirus, packet number. May we do it together? Okay, now, from here, which one do you think is the right option? Trailer, originator's address, or payload? See, it's the packet header. So packet header is holding the originator's address, not payload. Packet address is holding none of these. Destination address, and packet holder is holding the packet number. In this manner, you've circled these 3 points and these 3 options, and you will be scoring 3 out of 3. Packet header, be clear, it's not packet structure, where they are not asking about packet header along with the packet header. What else is there? They're asking about the items of data stored in a packet header. Be very cautious. Okay, fine. Let's move to the next question. Each packet is sent along a different path from the employee's device to the employer's device. Tick one box to show the name of this method of sending packets. Which one is the right option? Packet switching, exactly, part C. A hardware device is used to control the path that each packet takes. Give the name of this hardware device. Router, exactly, so simple. So till now, the questions are very easy. I hope that you are scoring till now. Let's move to the next part. The next part is the email data is checked for errors, and after it has been transmitted using an echo check and a checksum. Explain how the echo check is used to check for errors in the email data. It's a 3-mark question. So what they want you to explain is how echo check is performed. Now, if you recall an echo check, what is happening? A copy of the data is sent by the receiver, like definitely back to the sender or by the receiver. The employers, like for example, you can see there are 2 people, employer and employee. So copy of the data is sent back to the employee's device because the employee is sending the email or the report. This employee's device or the sender is now going to compare the data with the original data, whatever was present in its computer. If the 2 data are equal, whatever is received by the sender or by the employee's device and the data that is sent back right now by the receiver or the employer's device, it means that it is accurately sent. So there is no need to resend the data. If, on the contrary, the original and the copy are not matching, it means that an error has occurred. So definitely the request, the employee's device will be sending the data back as is happening in echo check. So I hope that we are clear about the discussion. We know it very well, but again, what is supposed to be written is we have discussed right now. In this manner, we will be able to score 3 out of 3. Now, in the checksum error detection method, 2 values are compared after transmission. If the values do not match, an error is detected. Explain why the values not matching would show an error has occurred. Now, it's a 2-mark question. So you know very well, checksum is calculated, same algorithm is used on both the senders and the receiver's end. So if, for example, this checksum is calculated on the sender's end, using this, you'll definitely apply it on the data. The same algorithm will be used on the receiver's end also. And if the two checksums are different, it means that there's some problem in the error transmission. And the two checksum values are matching, it means that there's no problem, and it means that no error has occurred. So this is what you know about checksum. Why the X value is not matching would show an error, because there is some problem in the calculation, some error has occurred while transmission was taking place, and that is why the two checksum values are not matching, they are different. So you need to see that this is what is going to be the main thing that they are going to expect the student to write in the answers, like checksum is calculated on the data, using same algorithm. Then it will be, if the two values are different, it means that the data is different. There's no similarity between the data values. The email data is encrypted using asymmetric encryption before it is sent. This is the next part, part G. Give one reason why the email data is encrypted. You know very well, to keep it secure, to make it meaningless for the hackers so that they are not able to understand what the message is, because the data is sensitive or confidential. That's why we prefer to have it in the encrypted form. So any 1 point written properly, a student will be scoring 1 out of 1. Give one similarity between symmetric encryption and asymmetric encryption. Very simple. I mean, this is what we have been discussing quite frequently, that a number of topics nowadays are coming where we are asked to talk about the similarities or the differences between certain things. So they both use a key, and they both are there to scramble the data. Like, they both are meant to make the data meaningless. And they both are, maybe a student could have written, they both turn the plain text into ciphertext. So if a child has written simple one answer, they both are meant to make the data meaningless for the hackers, he will be able to score. So simple. Now give two differences between symmetric encryption and asymmetric encryption. Now just recall, symmetric, which one out of these is secure? Although they both are encryption techniques, but asymmetric is more secure as it is using public and private key, exactly, while symmetric is using only public key. And the same public key is used for both encrypting and decrypting the message. While if you talk about asymmetric, so encryption is done through public key, which is carried over the network, and decryption takes place with the private key. A matching pair of private and public keys are generated, and encryption is done with a different key and decryption is done with the private key. That is what you know very well. Let's see. What are they expecting the student to write as an answer? First thing, be clear. Two similarities and two differences to be written properly. Symmetric uses public key, whereas asymmetric uses public and private keys. The first thing that we have talked about. Symmetric sends the key with the data, whereas asymmetric does not. As we talked about, actually, in asymmetric, the decryption takes place through private key, and that is not traveling. That is staying with the person who is going to decrypt the message. That's why. Symmetric decrypts the data using the same key, as we talked about, whereas asymmetric decrypts the data using a different key, which is the private key. Symmetric is less secure than asymmetric. See, so simple answers. Differences, we have talked about public-private key. We know that symmetric is less secure as compared to asymmetric, and we know about when do we use public key, where is the private key residing, and how is the decryption taking place. Question number 3. An instruction is fetched from RAM into the memory data register to be decoded. Identify two other registers that are used in the fetch stage of the cycle. One is mention MDR, which are the other two. One is program counter or PC. Second one is MAR or memory address register. And the third one is CIR or current instruction register. They're talking about the fetch stage of the cycle. That's why we are not going to mention the other ones, okay? PC, CIR, MAR, MDR are the ones and not ACC. Now complete and annotate the diagram to show how the data is decoded once it has been fetched into the MDR. What are they expecting me to draw? Now this is what they're expecting. Data or instruction is sent from MDR to the CIR or CU, definitely using the data bus, and the CIR is inside the CU. Data instructions are separated into operand and opcode. Control unit is going to decode the instructions using an instruction set. So they are expecting that the student should have mentioned these things in the diagram. Very simple diagram. MDR is drawn for us, and this is the area that was left. So what am I supposed to fill in? First thing is, we have to draw a box, simple box where we wrote CU control unit. And inside this, we drew the CIR. My drawing the diagram phase is over. Now I'll simply draw a line and I'll simply write down very simple, in simple English, instruction is sent using the data bus from MDR to the control unit. And what is happening in CU? It's decoding instructions using the instruction set. In this manner, if you have drawn the boxes properly, you have drawn the arrows properly, you have written the proper instructions, so you will be scoring 4 out of 4. Yes, I understand. This is a bit tricky, I should say, that needing your attention, you're needing your understanding, and only then you'll be able to answer. Isn't it? Just see for yourself very quickly. MDR was already done in your paper, and only you were supposed to draw this area. Control unit inside the CIR, a line drawn, instructions sent using data bus, and decoding instructions using the instruction set. Okay, understood? Now, question number 4. Complete the table to give the missing term or description for the internet terms. The collection of web pages exist using the internet. It's World Wide Web or www. The address given to a device when it connects to the internet. Address given to a device when it connects to the internet, it's IP address. For web browser, you know the definition, software, the application that allows users to view or access the web pages by rendering HTML. So if you remember these 2 points, as we have been discussing in the class repeatedly, the software or the application that is needed to view or access the web pages, and by rendering HTML. The hardware that stores a database of matching websites and IP addresses. So the hardware that stores a database of matching websites, that is why it is DNS or domain name server. And last one, the last 2, now a type of hardware that can be used to prevent a distributed denial of service attack. So there is a proxy server. So proxy server's job is to prevent a DDoS attack. Now, please just remember this term. If, for example, you are asked to draw and annotate a diagram for DDoS, then you be clear that you can mention a proxy server. Now, hacking, you know very well, gaining unauthorized access to a computer system, gaining illegal access to a computer system. So a student can write any of this, and he will be scoring the marks for writing down proper description of hacking. So 6 marks are easy to score. Question number 5. A farmer has a plow that is an automated system. The plow is used to dig the ground in a field to prepare it for planting seeds. The plow uses sensors and a microprocessor to maintain a straight line when digging the ground. State what is meant by an automated system. An automated system, it means a system that can perform actions without human intervention, without the human's involvement, a system that can perform its task automatically. That will be called an automated system. Now, describe the role of microprocessor in this process. What do they do actually? So you can see what is microprocessor doing in the case of automation. So first thing is, it is going to get the data from the sensors, and it will analyze the data, what it is, so that it can take corrective action. It can send some signals. So first stage is getting the data from the sensors. After this, analyzing the data with the preset value so that it can be checked whether it is within the range or outside the range, and then sending the appropriate signals to trigger the action, like whatever action is supposed to be performed, that is based on the input sent by the sensor, digitized data sent by the sensor, and then it will be it will be checked against the preset values. Okay, understood? And in this manner, simple we have been discussing, and that will give you 3 out of 3. Give 2 benefits to the farmer of using an automated system for the purpose. Very quick answers are going to be consistent results, can work 24/7. The farmer does not have to handle the heavy equipment, like it's a little difficult for him. The farmer can do other jobs. Doing this boring job, mundane task, a farmer is going to be stopped from doing this mundane or repetitive task. It can save the money on labor costs in the long run. It is more accurate because it will be doing the work accurately without making any mistake. And it is more efficient than a human being. So this is any 2 benefits mentioned properly will give you 2 out of 2. Now, part D. This is a bit looking out. The plow uses AI, artificial intelligence, to navigate its way around the field. Explain how the plow makes use of AI for this purpose. Now, this just needs a little bit of understanding. What do they want me to write here? The use of AI in plowing the field. See, do they expect the student to write? A 4-mark question means that the student can write, it could make use of machine learning. It could gather the data from plowing the field, and it is going to use that data to adapt its new processes. So once it has learned by gathering the data from plowing once, it can definitely make fewer mistakes in future. It will be able to know what are the dimensions of the field. It will be able to know the landscape of the field. It will be able to know where the obstacles are. And since it has moved around the whole field, it might make a map of the field also. And this map will help the AI system to make use of the most efficient route. And it will not be repeating those mistakes as it has done in the beginning. So this is how the AI system will benefit the farmer a lot in this case. So just remember these basic points, how AI is helping us using machine learning, adapting the new things, keeping those things so that it is not going to make a mistake in future. You can get another question in some other scenario. Just remember how AI helps and you will be able to answer very efficiently. Maybe your paper will contain something different, some other scenario will be there. So just be clear, what do the examiners want us to answer, and definitely you will be able to score. Okay, now. Question number 6, part A. Complete the statements about cookies. Use only terms from the list. Not all terms need to be used. Some terms may be used more than once. Binary, close, denary, spire, hexadecimal, image, malware, operating system, permanent, persistent, session, sound, temporary, web browser. Now, this is your paragraph. Let me read it for you. You do it, and then we will discuss the answer. Okay? Cookies are small text files that are stored by a blank line. A blank cookies are dash text file that are deleted when the dash is closed. Dash cookies are dash text files that are stored on a user's secondary storage device until they are manually deleted or they dash. There are 7 blanks here. We are supposed to fill in all the blanks to get 7 out of 7. Done? Okay, last minute. Then you're going to check your answers yourself and you will mark yourselves. Okay, done. That's great. Let's see. So these are small text files that are stored by a web browser. So first blank will contain a web browser. Second blank, dash cookies are dash text files that are deleted when the dash is closed. Deleted. Which cookies are deleted? The session cookies. Session cookies are temporary text files. So we are going to take the values from here. The first value that we have used is web browser. Second value that we have used is your session cookies. Session is here. Then our temporary files, temporary text files, the third option. The third is your temporary text files that are deleted when the session is closed or the web browser is closed. So here a student can write any of the options. So if a student says web browser, he is correct. If another student wrote session, then he is also correct because they both are talking about the same scenario. So for this one, session cookies are temporary text files that are deleted when the session is closed or when the web browser is closed. Now, on the contrary, dash cookies are dash text files that are stored on the user's secondary storage. So which are these cookies? These are your persistent cookies. So this will be your answer here. Persistent cookies are your permanent text files that are stored on the user's secondary storage device until they are manually deleted or they expire. So in this manner, you have answered accurately and you will be scoring 7 out of 7. So let's see how many of us have scored 7 out of 7. This is your complete answer. 7 marks are yours. Now, part B. Give 3 examples of the use of cookies. So what are the examples? It stores user preferences, it stores the login details, it stores the permanent payment details, it stores the user's personal details like exact address, etc., or maybe the name. It is storing the contents of a shopping cart. It is meant for advertising purposes. So any of these answers will definitely give you 3 out of 3. If you have mentioned them accurately, then 3 marks are yours. Question number 7. A computer programmer uses an IDE, integrated development environment, when creating a computer program. Explain the purpose of an IDE. So what is it doing? Why do we use an IDE? First thing, it's a piece of software. It's a program. And this program is needed to write the code, to develop the code, to edit the code. And not only write or edit the code, we can also test the code while we are running the program. And what are the options available to us? Like we have a few options like you can say auto completion, or you can say pretty printing, or any other like runtime environment with a debugger. So any suitable example as have click your mind, you will write down, and it is there to translate the code to low-level language, or it is there to translate the language to machine code. So these are the main things, these are the main purposes for which we use an IDE. So it's a very straightforward question, no difficulty. Whatever we have been doing in programming, same thing they're expecting us to write here. Hope that we are all clear about the paper. Hope that we all have scored well in this paper. Jazakallah khairan kaseera for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have liked the video. If you have any query, then you can see the videos are there for each topic explained properly. There are other videos available for the papers also. Watch the videos to enhance your learning. Share with your friends and family so that they all are able to learn, to be a part of the learning journey. Jazakallah khairan kaseera once again. Take very good care of yourselves and your family. May Allah bless you. May Allah help you in reaching your targets. Allah Hafiz.